speaking of snow and lumbar erectors, they may go hand in hand with shoveling snow.
It's
And
almost as if we picked this podcast on
uh,
purpose, dude. But in all likelihood, it's probably a coincidence. It has to be,
mhm.
right, Ben?
Yeah, probably, I would
Yeah.
say.
But like you said, this
Mhm,
is our fifth podcast series for the month of December.
mhm,
We're going into the lumbar erectors, which, of course, for those that don't know, it's basically the anatomical and medical specific way of saying your low back. So we're
mhm,
talking about all the muscles right there in the lumbar region, your low
mhm,
back from the bottom of the ribs, basically to the very tippy top of the pelvis. There, correct?
mhm. Yep.
And how common do you find issues in the lumbar erector muscles then, Ben?
Well, I find usually um, sometimes more issues than people realize
Mm-hmm.
because I I would how if we're talking about how common it is, I mean I probably around probably 80% or so. I would say. Um, I mean, but usually people come in initially for some type of issue with the neck and shoulders. That would probably be um, the most that I would see initially with that, and then they become more aware as the massage progresses of issues in the lumbar region. And that's not to say that there are people that come in specifically just for low back
Mm-hmm.
issues, but if we're going, for the commonality thing, um, it it's it's not the most common, but it's definitely way up there.
Yeah, that's fascinating
Hmm.
that you say that. And I love the way that you walked through that you say probably maybe the most common that would come to you and say, hey, I think I need massage as they're picking up, it's in their neck, their shoulder blades.
Hmm.
So this is kind of precisely in the chiropractic wheelhouse. I love
Hmm.
that you said 80% is what you feel like you work about, 80% of low back work. A lot of the literature and uh, papers that are out there for physical medicine for chiropractors and for physical therapists and whatnot,
Hmm.
they'll actually commonly cite the statistic that 4 out of 5 Americans get at least one severe episode of low back pain at some point in their adult life.
Hmm.
So I'm not much of a math whiz, but I'm pretty sure 4 out of 5 is 80%. So it's funny that we're both kind of sitting here and saying 80%.
Hmm.
This is our most common thing that comes to chiropractors.
Hmm.
I usually kind of, I've said in other videos, and I'll continue to maintain, if you probably polled most people and you said, hey, what is the one area that a chiropractor treats the best? They
Hmm.
would probably tell you the low back. So this is definitely our most common.
Hmm.
Sounds like it's high up on your list too, just maybe not the
Hmm.
initial thing that some people come into
Hmm.
until they start to kind of get a little bit more of that mind body connection and realize
Hmm.
there is actually a little more going on there than they
Hmm.
realized, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So